All right, so we are live, and we're going to be talking about how you can get more time back and get more done and get better results. So if that sounds like that's of interest to you, you are in the right place. I'm super excited to be joined here by Gilad Freimann from VAA Philippines. So Gilad, thank you for joining us.
Hello, Kevin.
Yes, welcome to another summit.
Yes,
welcome back for another
here
one.
I am.
Here you are. We're on opposite sides of the world from each other.
As always.
As always, although you can sometimes be in a different spot of the world.
Yeah. There was one time that I was in Florida. We both were in Florida at the same time, which was amazing.
Yes, you're about an hour away from me at the time. But
it happened only once.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so for those watching, if you don't mind, just let us know you can hear us. I'm on a new computer. I always have fears of something's going wrong with the tech, and new computers don't help with that. So just to make sure we're not talking in a room with no one here, if you don't mind, just give us a little thumbs up or comment. A couple things just to note. We do participation trophies here. So unlike, oftentimes we make fun of participation trophies here in the United States. Here we do reward participation from time to time. So you never know when we're going to reward some sort of participation. And we will have giveaways throughout. And the best giveaway will be at the end. So make sure to stick around to the end. So, all right. So Drip Fit says, hey, Kevin, looking forward to the next couple of days. You never disappoint. Well, thank you. I'm glad to have you back for another one. SC says the sound is good, so that's good. So we're off to a good start, so people can at least hear us. So that's always a good thing. So, Gilad, tell us a little bit real quick about VAA Philippines.
All right. First of all, I mean, I see that they hear you, so and you can hear me, right? That
yes,
means that
I can hear you.
Well,
can you guys hear Gilad too? Just to make sure. Usually, if I can hear Gilad and you can hear me, then
all right, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, VAA Philippines. I founded the VAA Philippines in 2017, so it's been a while already. I started as a seller, and I needed to outsource a lot of roles for the company as a seller. And from here and there, we developed into creating our own agency of virtual assistants. We recruit virtual assistants in the Philippines. They go through tons of filtering in order for us to find the right people. And then we train them specifically on everything they need to know in order to help brand owners. It could be Amazon, it could be Walmart, it could be social media, PPC, and so on. So these people are trained to help sellers to grow their business, to expand beyond the capabilities of the individual. And that's what we're experts in.
Yeah, that's awesome, because oftentimes sellers, we start off with this, belief we just got to figure everything else or figure everything out on our own. It's like we listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, read blogs, come to summits, things like that, and try to figure all these things out. And then we feel like we just have to do everything forever. And that's 100% not true. So, you get to a point where you literally can't do anything more. There's only 24 hours in the day. Some people may have another job, or they have other businesses, or just in general, you've got too many SKUs. It's too much to manage. So you got to get someone to manage some of this for you. So we're going to get into some tips on how you can better manage it, and also open up to questions here in a little bit. But I did say I would reward participation. So SC, you said the sound is good. So this, I did not mention this earlier, and I should have at the beginning. This live stream is part of the Convert More Click Summit. So most of the Convert More Click Summit is in a membership area. So you have to sign in, you have to get a ticket. And if you want ongoing access to the Convert More Click Summit, you got to have a VIP upgrade. So SC, if you do not have a VIP upgrade, I'm going to give you a VIP upgrade for free. Just email kevin@maximizingecommerce.com. and I'll hook you up with a VIP upgrade to the Convert More Click Summit. So you'll have lifetime access, as well as some other goodies. So you can watch Gilad's other session, which will be coming out on Thursday, as well as some other fun goodies and that lifetime access. So just email kevin@maximizingecommerce.com. And if anybody's watching the replay and said, well, you said email kevin@maximizingecommerce.com, that was specific people who are here live. And if you're watching live and you're like, but you didn't call my name, Kevin, just hang out. You never know. I might call you. again. So it is my pleasure, SC. So glad to help you out there. So all right, so let's get into it a little bit. Oh, I got to do one thing. I promised everybody we'd have this in the group. So real
And by the
quick,
way, yeah, you know what you said before? I think
what's that?
we have to divide it into two parts here, because you said two things that are interesting. One is the fact that people spend a lot of time learning, listening to podcasts and webinars and learning things like you have here in this amazing summit. And I completely agree with that. And I think this is really one of the most important thing of the owner of the business to do. And I would not outsource that part. I think that's exactly the reason why it's so important to have time to grow and mentally to understand how you can grow in techniques, strategy, and so on. The problem that we see with sellers is that they take the first part and then immediately they think it's up to them to apply everything they learned. And then what happens is that either they simply do not have the time to do a lot of it, so they do like 1% of it, and the 99% that they learned and listened to is forgotten or not even used. Or they try to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but then the outcome would not be as good as they could, and they let go of it, or they start to neglect, and that's even worse. And that's the problem. We're not understanding that you have to do everything yourself. Put your efforts and time in where nobody else can do it for you. You can hire a virtual assistant to help you with to get things done, but you cannot hire a Filipino or somebody else to listen to the podcast instead of you. I mean, I tried, and sometimes you can have them to summarize it for you, but you have to have the knowledge in order to get the decisions. You have to understand what's going on in order to give directions to people to do things. But after that, that's the problem. That's the tricky part, that what a lot of people call it the Superman syndrome, that you think that you have to do it all yourself. And that's really a problem, understanding the divide between learning and actually doing it.
Yeah, that is such a good point, because there's another framework I had learned many years ago when I started getting into the entrepreneurial world. Is you have basically two main hats, and this is the framework someone gave. And I don't know if I've ever heard this since, but you have CEO hat and worker bee hat. So you always have to assume that the CEO hat has to be the one to decide what to do, to plan out the work, to plan out the strategy and the tactics and what's coming up next, and then assign it to the different you. And you have to separate the two. But at a certain point, worker bee you doesn't have to be you. Coca-Cola's CEO might say, hey, let's launch a new beverage. They're not going in there and figuring out formulas. They might just say, we want more market share. And then it kind of goes to someone else who figures out, someone else who figures it out. And there's other people figuring out the formula and how do we produce it and all that. So you may have more executive hats on than the CEO of Coca-Cola, but you don't have to load the trucks. You know what I mean? There's a lot of button pushing that can be someone else. You just have to decide what button pushing has to get done.
Yeah.
So where is a good line for where people assign versus they do it themselves?
Well, I have to tell, I like the part you said, and I think that the problem here at e-commerce is that, unlike other businesses, outside of the e-commerce world, where usually in order to get to become a CEO, then you'd have to step up the ladders, and yes, you start there, but it takes you years to get to the executive point, where along the way you learn to delegate, you learn how to grow mentally. Amazon is very unique because, or e-commerce is very unique because in a very short period, you're becoming from the worker that you said to the CEO. It can happen very fast. I mean, I started selling on Amazon in 2015. 2 years later, only in 2017, we hired a lot of people already to help with the business because it grew so fast. So the business grows, but mentally, a lot of people are not ready yet to be CEOs because they do not really have the experience of understanding how to delegate and understanding that it doesn't have to be all of them, and the power of growing your business using other people. So that's a lot of time the problem. You're starting as a worker, but it's hard for you to let go yet. And I think that the line, like you said, is it always stops in one question. You have to ask yourself, and I do it every day. I ask myself the question, like, is this little thing that I'm doing now, is this something that somebody else can do for me? Somebody with the right skills, with the right attitude, with the right filtering. It can be from the Philippines, can be from the US. Somebody else can do this task instead of me. If so, immediately, if the answer is yes, immediately I'll let go and I'll delegate it. Maybe I'll need to understand, okay, I need to delegate it. I'm not ready yet to delegate it. I need to build a structure for that. But immediately I know this is not me should be doing it. I need to do everything in my power so it's not me. If the answer is no, nobody else can do it for you. This is your place. This is your decision making. This is the thing that you need to do this in order to think of the future where you want to take this company and so on. Then it's have to be you. I had to decide who should be in this webinar, for example. I decided that I want to be it because I want to represent the company the best way. I want to represent and help people to understand how to outsource, and I don't think that anybody else can do it in the company that better than me as the founder of the business. However, a lot of other tasks that I'm asking myself, I'm deciding, no, this task could be done by somebody else. I should spend my time on more important things, on the things that will really help the business grow. So I think that's the line. Ask yourself the question: if somebody else can do it for you, immediately start to build the way of doing it.
That's such a good point. Can someone else do it and at least almost as good as you can? And
almost as good is very important, because a lot of people stop there because they get 90% result, for example, or 80% result, and I think, I'm not letting go. I thought somebody else could do it for me, but it's not 100%, so it's better me doing it again. And then they reach the ceiling, the ceiling of growth, because nobody can do it better than you. For example, answering customer messages. You as the owner of the company, your vision, how to answer the people the best way. But if you have, instead of 2 messages a day, if you have 200 messages a day, is it still going to be you to do it? Or you have to understand that even 90% or 80% of the outcome is good enough in order for the business to grow, and you should understand that nobody can really duplicate you. But the best way to grow a business, to give better services to more people, is to delegate, for example, for having customer support.
Yeah, that's a good point. Customer support is one thing you can give off to other people, and you can tell them, hey, here's how I would respond to certain things. And I have found that oftentimes if you're training someone on customer support, like, write out an FAQ. Here's the questions we normally get. You could always ask them initially to, hey, here's the question, here's my proposed response, and you can give them feedback or whatever. But worst case scenario, if they if they give away a $30 product and you didn't want them to, is that the end of the world?
Right. Exactly. And you learn from it. You learn from it. You make a report from it. You understand that, then you correct it for next time. So next time, it's already like the generation 2 of customer service. They know already. They have the SOPs. They have the corrections. You build it together with them. So you get, for the longer period, you get, excellent service.
Awesome. Well, you just mentioned SOPs, and that's an important thing. So when people are putting together their SOPs and standard operating procedures, even if they don't call it SOPs, but just how to do whatever the task is, however you want to call that, whether it be videos or written or whatever, how do you suggest doing that? Because one of the things I have found as an entrepreneur is that, having worked in Fortune 500 companies myself before, when you're a manager in a Fortune 500 company, the system kind of manages itself, and you're really just managing the system that's already in place, and things just kind of happen. Whereas when you're the entrepreneur, like, you have to be the one to at least initiate things happening and to keep things going. How do you do that?
So
probably a tough question.
I separated, between the easy part and the more challenging part. The easy part would be how to get things done for things that you used to do yourself for a very long period. You know exactly how to do it, and then you can help the VA to create a process of how to do it. How you do it? For example, you do it yourself. You record a screen. You make a video of you doing it. You talk to the screen while you're doing it. Here I am answering the customer. This is very important to do it when I do it. You make a video like this, and then you show it to the VA. Now the VA will be the one to create actually the procedure. They will be the one to create a file and to put number 1, press on this button, number 2, this, and they will listen to the video. And the reason why you record it and not just have a one-on-one session with the VA and explain them how to do it, because you get better results this way. The VA could watch it again and again and again and understand exactly what, how to do it and create the file. And then you have to go over the process, the procedure, and just approve it to see if everything was understood correctly. And that's your way to see that everything that you instructed was understood the right way. And then that's your procedures. And the VA, our VAs, for example, they're trained to create SOPs. So they know how to create SOPs. They know how to work with video tools, for example, Loom, which is a good tool to create tutorial videos and so on. So they use it, and then they create the files and the SOPs. Now, a more complicated task will be to create a process for something that you've never done yourself before. And here it's something that you build together with the VA. You work together, and then you give an instruction. You do not let go completely in the beginning. And by the way, I would not do it immediately on the first day with your VA.
Right.
But it's already a VA that you know that you can trust. But now it's time to grow the level of expertise of that VA. So you let them, for example, watch videos and do tasks and so on, and create the SOPs. And then you ask the VA to train you based on what they've learned. And they showed you, they create their own videos of what they learned and how to do it. And then you watch the video and you see if it's clear enough, if it makes sense, and then they create the SOPs. So at the beginning, you ask them like, okay, I don't know anything about it, learn it, create a video for me, explain it to me, and explain to me what your the next steps to do, and then they'll do it. So I would say that's step 1. Step 2, sorry. The first step is easier. Everything that you do now, if you want to stop doing it and stop wasting your time on it, just ask your VA to create SOPs for it based on videos that you create.
Awesome. Yeah. So have your VA basically replicate what you're doing to make sure that they understand it your way. And one of the things I have found is, even if someone comes to you and they've got years of Amazon experience, they've worked for several sellers, they've worked for several agencies, they've worked for Amazon directly, they might have all the above right there, and that sounds great. But then you come in and you're like, why are they doing it this way? Because they don't know your way of doing it. And so you need to teach them that.
Yeah. And by the way, when we started recruiting, I'm talking about 7 years ago, we only recruited people with vast experience, 3, 4, 5 years of experience in Amazon. And then we discovered exactly what you said. Now that, except for paying them like 3 times more, but except for that, they make tons of mistakes, or I would say they do it differently. They do it the way somebody else trained them, and it could be maybe
which might not have been good.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe things were not relevant anymore. Maybe they were trained 5 years ago on how to do Amazon listing, and God help me if I do it like the way they trained 5 years ago. So we are actually now focusing on recruiting people with the right talents, the right high level of intelligence and understanding level, and curiosity and potential, basically. And then we train them ourselves, and we continue to upgrade their knowledge all the time. Every time there are updates, so they will always be on top of things, but they learn from us, not from the person that trained them before and the person that trained them before. And like this, they make tons of mistakes, and that actually bring you the best outcome. When you hire people and you train them yourself, and you know exactly what they know.
Yeah, figure out what they know and get it documented, get it on paper, so to speak, or at least virtually on paper. Yeah. Got it. So one of the other things is, how do you manage their workload to know when you're giving them either too much, not enough, or whatever the case is? Because unfortunately, especially if we're talking about the Philippines and somebody in America, literally halfway across the world from each other. So you can't just go over and look over their shoulder and see what they're doing.
No, so you don't want to waste your time on doing that. I mean, that's the reason why you hired other people, so you don't have to. If you spend your time watching other people doing it, with 80%, capability of you, then
right.
why do it? and just do it yourself. So basically, you want to free up your time to do it, to have other things that are more important for you as the owner of the company. So basically, there is advantage of hiring people from the Philippines, for example, because the cost over there is so little. I mean, you can hire virtual assistant for $5-6 an hour, and for that, they, even if you give them, and if they have 5 hours to do a task that would take you 3 hours to do, then you know what, not a big deal. I mean, so you spend $5 more on a task, or on it's not, that's not your issue here. And I think people should not be afraid from that. They should start. They could hire somebody for 3 hours a day in the beginning, and then learn about the capabilities of that person. A lot of time people are asking us, like, how much time does it take the VA to do a certain thing? And my answer is like, okay, they would pretty much do it the way. How much time does it take you to do it? I mean,
Right.
okay, you should think of the fact that if somebody, you start working with them, then in the beginning it would take them, let's say, twice the time that it takes you. Okay, frustrating maybe for the first week. Okay, but that's you're training them on something new, so it will take them slower. It will be slower after a week or so. Pretty much, they will reach your level of time, because they've been doing this every day, exactly what you do. So after a week, you should expect the same level. After that, they will even do it faster than you. But that's pretty much a good way to evaluate how much time it will take, and then you can build it from there, and you can decide, okay, in the beginning, how much you can build really a schedule for them. On Tuesday, on the first 2 hours of work, you focus on customer service. After that, I want you to deal with the listings and Q&A. After that, you should go and do other things, and so on. So you can build it for them, and you can tweak it after that. And I think the most important thing here is to get the feedback from the VA. So for us, we train our VAs every day to send in the end of the day an end of day report. Okay, and it's called EDR, end of day report, and they in this report, they summarize for you everything they worked on, how much time it took them to do these things, any problems they encountered during these tasks. So it's easier for you to understand. And then once in a week, you don't have to do it every day. Once in a week, you jump on a Zoom call with them, you ask them, you talk about last week, how was it? If there are any problems, I see, you go over the end of the day report. It's a half an hour talk, but then you talk with them about what happened. You talk to them about next week and what you want to achieve, and so on. You get this personal connection with them, and that's it. You should not be worried about what can I give the VA and is it enough for time and on. You should start building this. A lot of people are afraid from that. They're afraid they don't know how to build the SOPs. They're afraid they don't know how to manage the time. You start rolling with it, and you learn from your mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes and to learn how to work with people, how to, that's exactly what you talk about, the hat of CEOs. One of the qualities of CEOs, they know how to manage people, they know how to manage time. It's something that you learn over time, and you become experts in this. So don't be afraid to jump into it, to make mistakes, and learn how to manage a team of virtual assistants.
Yeah, very good. Just get in there, make mistakes, and realize whether, it's Bob Iger. Let's use an example. I think he's still the CEO of Disney.
Yeah.
He left and came back. Well respected. He makes a lot of mistakes along the way. Everyone does, and I'm sure Bob would say that if he was watching this. So everyone makes mistakes. It's okay. It's part of the process. Just do your best and keep moving forward and learn from it. And when you're dealing with people, it's imperfect. It's things don't go as planned. All right, so now we're talking about dealing with people, but let's also talk about other ways you can kind of throw a little gas on the fire, so to speak, of having more things being able to be accomplished, more things getting done. And whether that's automation or, AI is a big buzzword, the new AI buzzwords like operators and agents and these things that just do things. You just tell them what to do and it just goes out and does it. You don't even have to tell it how to do it. It'll research it. What are your thoughts on AI and how that affects what sellers are working
that
on?
you say
When
So yeah, actually, that's going to be the topic that I'm going to be speaking on Thursday, because AI is so exciting. You learn so many things, and every day it's changing, and every day there are new tools and you get overwhelmed a little bit, but wow, there's so many things, and you start to learn how to do it. And I used to compare it between like going in on bike trips, and let's say that I like mountain bikes, so I go mountain biking, and then I see that in the end of the day I get to like let's say 20 kilometers. I'm saying kilometers because I'm in here, but for you, I don't know, like 15
Well, I
miles.
know that 10K is about 6.2 miles, 5K
Yeah.
is 3.1.
So you're doing
That's pretty
6.2 miles.
Yes.
And then okay, that's your limit. Now AI is like the mountain bikes with the battery, the electric mountain bikes. Then suddenly you get to do 60 kilometers, or I don't know, 40.6 kilometers per day, but you still need to have the control. You still need to know how to ride bikes. You still need to understand the basic rules of going mountain biking and the techniques and so on, but you get to do so much more. And that's really what AI is all about. You suddenly see that if you wanted to be on social media, and you see that it took you 2 years ago to create a post on Facebook, it would take you like an hour just to write the post. And so you do it once a week. And then suddenly now you see that with AI, it could take you 5 minutes to do a post. You just you create a prompt, you ask AI, you start to tweak it a little bit, and then it will take you 5 minutes to do that post, which is incredible. However, it doesn't mean that you continue to do one post, a week, and that's it, because now you have more time. So now you could create more brand awareness for your brand. So you can post 5 times a day on Facebook every day, right? And guess what? You can do it on Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok. So suddenly now you have so much more capabilities, which is endless. And by the way, you'll see also your competitors, they'll understand that they have this option as well. So if you want to continue to post once a week on Facebook, you'll see that other people are doing everything that I said now using AI. So AI really gives you a lot of opportunities to be, to be in front of more audience, to grow your business much faster. But the more you go into AI, there is a trap here, because the more time you see yourself spending on doing all these things, because maybe it took you an hour a week to create one post, but now you'll have to do 5 minutes on Facebook, but you do it 5 times a day, so 5 times 5 plus Instagram plus Pinterest plus and it goes on and on and on. And we find ourselves in this trap that we want to achieve so much more. It's so fast and easy to start using AI, but you have to tweak it, and you have to create the prompts, and you have to understand that, have AI understand you and your niche, and so on. So you understand that eventually you need somebody behind the wheel to manage AI, and that's pretty much the reason why I've created this lecture. I'm going to be talking exactly about this. I'm going to talk about the advantages of AI. I'm going to talk about specific tools that sellers are using for customer service, for graphic designing, video editing, and so on. But also how we can get more things done using virtual assistants, instead of understanding that this is all for us now. Now we have to learn about all these tools and learn about them again in 2 months from now, when everything will change again, and master them and start to waste our time on them. That's not how you continue to grow. And I think if you look at a year or 2 years ahead, then you see that the good CEOs, the good owners of the brands, are the ones that will learn how to use teams to use all these technology faster than their competitors. And if those that will spend their time learning about the tools, trying to implement them themselves, and see that they have a limit of time, they will be left behind, because now the gap will grow much faster. There are so many things to do, and if you're just trying to do it yourself, or completely ignoring it because you don't have the time to even start, then you're going to be left behind much faster. And that's very interesting topic, I think, to do that I'm going to talk about.
Yes. So folks, if you want to check out Gilad's presentation and you don't yet have your ticket, you can go to convertyourclicks.com and get a ticket to the Convert More Clicks Summit for less than $10. I spend at least that just buying one of my kids a chicken McNugget value meal because they're too old for Happy Meals now. But just getting the 10-piece nugget meal with fries and a drink is like more than what we're charging for a summit ticket. And you can see not only Gilad's presentation, but a lot of other great presentations from folks like Kevin King, Stephen Pope, Mina Elias, Chris Rawlings, Ritu Java, Joey Roberts. Oh my God, I'm missing folks only because it's too much to talk about. And so no offense to anyone's name I didn't mention, who are a lot of great speakers, but grab your ticket. So another thing is, I did mention we're going to be rewarding participation. So if you have any questions for Gilad on how you manage virtual assistants, how you decide what tasks to give, AI, whatever, those are just talking points that you could bring up, but feel free to ask your other questions because Gilad, you've been doing this for how long again?
I started selling on Amazon in 2015, but we started recruiting virtual assistant in 2017, and VAA was founded in the middle of 2017. Yeah, so 7 years already. Almost
awesome.
8.
Yes. So if you have any questions, this is a very knowledgeable gentleman here who wants to answer your questions, and we will probably reward participation. I don't know exactly what it will look like yet, but I plan to do some participation rewarding. So if that sounds of interest to you, just ask a question in the chat, and we'll get to those here in just a second. So, all of a sudden, chat starts to pick up. All right. So, Mattis Friedman, no relation there, is it?
No, that's Friedman.
Yes.
Friedman.
Yes. So
very close.
Mixing around a couple letters and adding one.
Right.
All right. So all of a sudden, I'm a man of my word, so I'm going to be doing a lot of giving away here. So, all right, PEP17. Hey, thank you for the discussion. Can you give me some general notions of costs to begin doing this? Oh, good question. So what does a virtual assistant cost?
Well, a virtual assistant is, there's no one cost for it, obviously. It depends on which tasks you want to give your VA to do. There's different qualities and different expertise of virtual assistant. There's what we call executive assistants that are more there to help you with your everyday task. If you want somebody to manage your calendar, to book appointments for you, to create invoices, to data entry, researches, things like that. That's pretty much like the idea of executive assistants. We're talking about between $5 to $7 an hour. That's also the cost of e-commerce virtual assistants like Amazon experts, Walmart experts that could handle all your everyday activity inside of Amazon, from flat files, listing creation, customer support, shipment plans, inventory management, you name it. If you're looking for social media VAs, then we're pretty much like talking about like $1 more, like $7.50 an hour, somebody to handle everything about your social media brand awareness, from Facebook to Instagram, creating content, creating graphic designing for that. Even TikTok Shop, for example, which is becoming a very, very interesting topic by itself, because it went down and up, and also influencers outreach. So everything about social media, pretty much $7.50 an hour. That's also going to be the cost of PPC. The PPC guys that are more analytics, they're really good in Excel's numbers and so on, and they're going to take care of your PPC. And we have graphic designers and video editors, pretty much the same cost, like $7.50 or $8.50 an hour. Sorry, that's pretty much the cost for graphic designers and video editors.
Awesome.
So basically, you can say from $6.50 to $8.50. That's pretty much your entire range of hours. Now people can hire full-time job, part-time job. We at VA, we have a minimum of 3 hours a day. So it's very the total cost per month definitely justifies to offload things from yourself.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so good questions. All right, it is 3:35 p.m. Eastern time, so it's 35 after the hour, and just about every time zone. So if you have already asked a question, just email Kevin at maximizingecommerce.com. Let me know what was your screen name that you're using right now, and whether you want either the what should I give away? One of the last two summits. So either the PPC summit from October, which VAA Philippines was a sponsor of. So either the PPC Q4 summit or the e-commerce brand builder summit, which we had in August. So it's one of those two: PPC Q4 summit or uh, business builder summit. So one of the two. Just let me know which one you want. $197 value. All you got to do is email Kevin at maximizingecommerce.com. Make sure to specify on your honor what your screen name was. All right. So moving ahead, SC asks, Gilad, what is the biggest challenge of hiring a good VA? So that's a good question. So when you're hiring someone, how do you find the right person?
Oh, okay. That's a very, very good question. I would say that this question is really the reason how VA was founded, because I made every possible mistake when I hired my first virtual assistant. I used to, and I think that would be my biggest challenge at the time, was to ignore everything I thought would be the right way to find good VAs. I thought that experience is number one. I thought I should find the best VAs with the best experience, and I should go from there. And I spent hours of interviewing people, looking only at their experience. And obviously, if you post an ad, get ready. You'll get 300 people applying.
Yeah, you will have plenty of stuff to do.
Oh yeah, you'll have your inbox done, and then guess what? 90% of them will say that they have 20 years experience in whatever it is that you're hiring for. And then you have to start to see what of it is real, what of it is not. You start going into interviews. The second thing is that you judge people by how they sound on the interview, which in many cases could be misleading, because a good virtual assistant is not, you're not hiring for an executive position to somebody, to manage your store in the US or something like that. You're not hiring for a CEO, so you're not really needing the same qualities of a person. If somebody's really talkative and with confidence and so on, that doesn't mean necessarily they're going to be good VAs. And sometimes good VAs, they're very shy in the beginning. They will be quiet. They will be really respectful to you, so they will not really talk and make a lot of fuss on the interview. But give them 2 weeks of feeling more secure and relaxed, then you'll get tons of output from them. So I would say today the biggest the challenge is to be patient. We take almost 2 months in the filtering process of finding the good people, because we focus on understanding their commitment level, understanding that we can trust them, understanding how their level of how fast they can learn complicated things and apply them correctly, and so on. These things are more important. Their potential is much more important than what they write on their resumes. So we almost don't care about their resumes. We use the resumes only to decide which direction they're going, if we should train them on social media or PPC or customer service. But from there on, we create all the funnel of recruitment goes to find their potential, to find their commitment level, motivation, and skills, and that's the most important thing.
That's a good point. Potential has a lot more to do with it, unless it's something super specific that you really need it. And
yeah, if you're hiring a doctor,
right,
look for experience. Okay, it's not like something I said for all hiring positions in general, but hiring a good VA, I would say it's more important than the experience is really their commitment.
Well, and too, if you're hiring someone to be an Amazon VA and you as the owner have more knowledge of Amazon than when you deal with seller support, like the person you're communicating with, and you probably know more than just about any VA you could hire. Right. You have the ability to help fill in the blanks. It's, if you have someone that knows what they're doing and they're not coachable and they don't want to get stuff done, that's going to be harder for you than if, they have a good attitude. Hey, show me what I need to do. And they take accountability. They take feedback well. They'll learn quickly.
Yes.
All right, cool. Do the VAs have skill sets already, or do they need basic training, softwares, etc.? So this is probably more a VAA specific, but you could answer in general too.
All right. So obviously, when you're recruiting somebody, you have to define exactly you're not hiring like one Superman VA to handle everything that you can think of in your business. They
Mhm.
have obviously specific skills. Just an example, like if you're hiring somebody to do your social media, then don't expect this person to be as good in PPC. It's really like two different sides of the brain to handle social media well, which you need creativity and the ability to express yourselves in writing and so on, compared to PPC, which you need really like completely like mathematical skills and you need somebody to be really like that. So it's two different things. So don't expect one person to do everything. So start with like deciding what are the skills that you need, like what you want to hire for. At VA, I'll go a little bit back to what I said before. We have different departments, so you decide like which type of VA you need. We have Amazon VAs, social media VAs, PPC VAs, executive assistants, graphic designers, and video editors, and Walmart VAs as well. So you hire that specific. We train them on everything they need to know about their specific niche. We have departments and trainers and coaches that are supporting the VAs, shadow them, continue to train them on the go all the time. Also, we train them about the big software, the big tools, Helium 10, for example. They know all the features and so on, all the big tools. Now, if you're using a tool that they've never used before, then you should show them how to use it. Most softwares, they have videos and educational videos. It's very easy to learn once you know how to use other relative softwares.
Good points. All right. Then next up, Josh B asks, do you use a single VA or multiple VAs for different job types? So it's kind of the same question.
Yeah, like I don't want one VA to handle everything. First of all, it's a big risk because if that VA will ever leave, then I'm stuck with everything. I prefer to have several VAs to act as a team, and each one of them be an expert on their specific field, compared to one Superman VA to handle everything, and then maybe one day disappear and I have to start from again to find another Superman.
Awesome. Fame's Chocolates from LinkedIn asks, are you competing with Upwork? So that's a good question. So how is VAA different than, say, Upwork or one of those?
Yeah, you could say that Upwork, we're both in the outsourcing industry, so we can say that we're competing against each other. However, we're very different also. I mean, first of all, we focus specifically on e-commerce and more specifically about Amazon and Walmart. That's really our thing. We are experts in this. This is where I came from as a seller, so this is how I started training my VAs. We have specific expertise in this field. We train our VAs ourselves. We filter our VAs ourselves. For example, on Upwork, you don't know, nobody's filtering the VAs for you. I can become tomorrow a VA at Upwork. I can post whatever you want, whatever I want on my resumes. Nobody knows if it's true or not. I want you to know what I want you to know, and that's fine. That's the way it works. But for us, we have a recruitment department, sorry, within VAA. We spend 2 months to find the right people. We filter them along the way. We train them so we know exactly what they know. We vet them this way. And then also, I would say we're different because we are a community of virtual assistants in the Philippines. We have more than 700 VAs in the Philippines. Wow. And we support them a lot mentally as well by continuing to train them, by having events and meetups. I go next week to the Philippines to meet my staff over there. So they meet up together with them. They really have a sense of a family, which makes them united and stay with us at VA for many years. We have plans for keeping them for the long term and so on, which you would not see in a single VA working from Upwork, that you have no idea where they're coming from. They're out there by their own. Nobody's really supporting them behind the scenes. Nobody knows anything about them. So today they're here, the day after they could disappear, and then you'll have to start all over again. So it's very different, I would say.
Awesome. Mattis Friedman, not to be confused with Gilad Freimann. If I'm a small brand doing 18K a month, is there still a need for a VA?
I say that everybody needs VAs. I tell you why. I think that our customers, because we've been doing this for 7 years now, I would say we have 9-figure sellers that are hiring dozens of VAs from us. We have sellers that haven't even started selling, but they simply are stuck and they tried, growing their business and they don't have time because they have, families, kids, other job, and so on. And they realize that the best way for them to even start moving forward would be to hire a VA to help them with the basics of creating the listings and really like managing to work with their supplier and advancing with the shipments and creation of the product and so on. So I would say you should look at where you're stuck. If you're stuck, no matter where the process is, if you could afford $300-400 a month of taking, of freeing up for yourself 3, 4, 5 hours every day of focusing on higher level tasks, then that's the idea of VA. So instead of, if you're paying a VA $650 an hour, for example, then you're taking off from things for you and you're freeing yourself to do things of $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour type of tasks that only you could do as the owner of the business. If you continue to do yourself tasks of $6 an hour, then that's what's limiting your brand in many cases.
No, that's a good point. Is the work you're doing work that is worth your time? And it's always kind of a fluctuating scale. Like it's going to change a little bit over time. Sometimes you might realize, oh wait, that's something I should probably be doing for now at this stage. But then there's other things you challenge yourself. You realize I don't need to be doing that, and that opens up more bandwidth and space to be doing higher value activities that only I can do as the owner. All right. So then Alejandro Ramirez says, VAs have general skills, or do they need to look for specific skills? So kind of a similar type question that we've had a couple times.
Yeah. So I still answered it, Alejandro. So VAs, they have specific skills. You should be looking for the specific type of people that, according to the tasks that you want to delegate, and don't look for one VA that will tell you or sell you that they can do it all. If a VA will tell you, I can handle your social media and I can handle your PPC and also everything about customer service, I mean, they would not be experts on all these things, most likely. I mean, even, us as the owners of the company, we've started this business, we're not experts in everything, so it's better to hire specific VAs to do specific skills, and obviously to find the qualities in these VAs according to the task that you want to give them. Good
points. All right, Gilad, are your VAs trained working with Levanta, or do I need to train them myself?
No,
so we're basically influencer marketing.
Yeah, okay. So we're not training them on Levanta. We have actually a training that we've done with them in the beginning. We have more customers coming to us actually from, I think it's Archer. It's a different thing, which by the way,
they're both similar platforms.
Yeah, they're both similar. I think it's just the payment thing is different. So the idea is pretty much the same. I think we've created a training on Levanta half a year ago or so. So I think we do have it. And with Archer, we are working for 2 years or so. So they're trained on them. They're trained anyway. This, by the way, we're talking about social media VAs. Social media VAs, they're trained on to work with influencers. They're trained to find the right influencers, micro influencers. I'm talking about to connect with them, to follow up with their work after that, to check the statistics of the work. That's their work. Everything related to influencers outreach is a part of their training, except for TikTok Shop, which they also do, by the way. But over there, the outreach of to influencers is going inside the platforms and not using external tools.
Awesome. All right. So I did promise. Oh, we got one more question here. So Ben Ludwig asks, I don't need a VA full-time right now. Can I use them for only 10, 20 hours a week?
Well, for us, if you're working with VAA, I mean, we have a limit of 3 hours a day. So basically, we're talking about a minimum of 15 hours a week.
So basically splitting the difference of his range there.
Yeah. So you can hire somebody for 3 hours a day. And then in the future, if you want, you can add more hours.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So I promised giveaways. So for everybody who asked a question, just email Kevin at maximizingecommerce.com or just respond to one of the emails that I've sent out if you're part of the summit. And I will give you a free, I promised, either the recordings of the PPC Mastery Summit Q4 edition from October or the e-commerce business builders summit from August. So one of our last two. So you just tell me which one you want and tell me what your screen name was, just so I know. Because sometimes people's screen names are completely different, and remind me what I promised you, because sometimes people are like, oh my God, I won. Thank you. Who are you and what did I promise you? Because sometimes, YouTube screen names are very different than their actual names. All right. So actually, another question came in here from Alejandro. Which spoken languages are available for virtual assistants? For example, if I want to communicate in Spanish and do the work in English.
Very interesting question. If you hire if you hire Filipino BAs, most likely, and also with VAA, they speak English. I mean, they speak their language, which is called Tagalog. But obviously, it will not be a lot of help to you. But they speak very good English. We recruit them based on their level of English, so you can talk with them in English. However, we have a lot of customers, sellers that have brands in other countries that they do not really need English-speaking VAs. They need, for example, German-speaking VAs, or they need, or maybe they sell in different. We have a company that's been for Christmas. They sold in like 20 different languages for countries. So they needed VAs to handle a lot of languages. The best way they do it is they just use ChatGPT for communication with the VA. The VAs are using ChatGPT for communication with the customers, and for customer service, I learned from sellers about a tool called Max AI. It's a very good tool for doing customer service in other languages. So they speak English, but they give fluent customer service in Norwegian, believe it or not. Okay, so it's possible today. AI really helps you to communicate with people with other languages very, very fast.
Awesome. All right. So what else? Oh, looks like we have another question here. How much human overwatching supervision does VA need? Oh, this is a good question. Is there a risk of critical mistakes or goofs that even extensive training might not prevent?
Yeah, I would not give my VA, if you hire a new VA, you should delegate crucial stuff later on. You should not start with giving your new VA your credit card number or handle, your coupons, for example, on Amazon on day one. You should build
Can you pull a category listings report and just check all my listings and put in back in information as you see fit?
Yeah, exactly. So you start to build it slowly, and then you give more and more tasks to your VA. I believe in a way that when you start working with your VA, every task that you want the VA to do, you should know how to do it yourself. It's a higher level to give VAs to do things that you have never done yourself, especially on Amazon itself. I mean, I can understand sellers that are using social media VAs without really being experts on social media, and they want the VAs to help them and doing influencers outreach, for example. And this is why they have us. They know that we train the VAs and we give them the quality that they need. However, if you want a VA to handle your business on Amazon, you should know what you want the VA to do, and you go over with your VA in the beginning of, okay, let's build the SOPs. This is the video that I have created. Create for me the SOPs. Now let's see how you do it yourself on the first day. Okay, now I see that I can trust you on this. Let's talk about scenarios. Let's build for me some cases and so on. And then you build it once, and it lasts forever basically. But that's the way you do it. And then the more you work with your VA, more tasks you can give your VAs. I do not believe in watching your VA every day and using tools, for like Time Doctor and everything that gives you that you can be the big brother and know every move that the VA is doing. I believe more in creating targets and goals and having reports in the end of the day and every week talking to your VA and see if there are any problems. But basically, just give your VA little by little. And like you said, a lot of times we're afraid to give the VA the quality or the freedom to do mistakes. We're afraid from that. But what's the worst in many cases that can happen? The VA will refund the customer that you could have done something differently. For the long term, you wasted $30 on a refunded product, but you gained a lot of freedom for yourself to do more things that are worth more than $30 of that refund. So yeah, don't give immediate access to all the important keys of your business. Build it slowly, but don't be afraid to delegate.
Awesome, good stuff. All right, so we are now going to do 2 giveaways. So before we get into the giveaways, just a quick reminder, if you want to learn more about VAA Philippines, you can go to vaaphilippines.com, which I've got right there on the screen. You can set up an appointment to chat with someone on Gilad's team about your
came from Convert More Clicks, so you get benefit.
Oh yeah, what is that benefit?
All right, so I promised your team if somebody's hiring a VA from this specific summit, they should mention that they came from Convert More Clicks summit, and then they'll get the first 10 hours for free when hiring a VA. Okay, so it will give them most of the time, of training the VA or showing the VA what needs to be done, and basically it covers the free. That's going to be free. But only if you mention that you came from there.
So make sure you mention you came from the Convert More Clicks Summit. Yeah. So that's awesome. 10 free hours. That's very generous. So thank you for doing that.
VA, if you're hiring several VAs, you have 10 hours per each VA.
Wait, 10 hours per each VA if you hire multiple?
Yes.
How are you stay in business?
Obviously, if you want to hire social media VA and a graphic designer, then you'll need 2 VAs. Weren't you listening before? We talked about that you need different VAs.
I know that part. I'm setting you up though. I mean, like that's a good deal though. Really what my point is.
So on my presentation, I have a QR code that will send you directly, so we can see that you came from the event. But if you go on our website and you schedule a call with us, then that's fine. Just mention that you came from the Convert More Clicks.
Awesome. That way you can get your 10 free hours, which is amazing. All right, so let's give away more free stuff. So Gilad's giving away free stuff to people that join VAA Philippines. I'm giving away free stuff. So those of you who have a summit ticket, if you don't yet have your summit ticket, you can go to convertyourclicks.com, grab your free ticket. It's $9.99. It's practically free. It's under $10. Like I was saying in the beginning, you could spend more money at Taco Bell on lunch than what we're charging. And you get to learn from Gilad and a whole bunch of other great, awesome people on how to convert more clicks, get more traffic, get more business for your, or get more sales for your Amazon business. We're starting to change the order of the operations. We are live here, folks. All right, so first of 2 giveaways. If you don't yet have your VIP upgrade, the VIP upgrade allows you to have ongoing access beyond. Officially, it's going to be Thursday at midnight Eastern time. We'll be taking down the, for those who don't have the VIP upgrade, we're going to be taking down the access to all the sessions. I might extend it for a day or 2, but not much longer than that. So basically, if you want to keep watching these next week or be able to refer to some of the videos, in a month from now, a year from now, whatever the case is, you need to have the VIP upgrade. And if you've not purchased the VIP upgrade, people are going to be paying as much as $197 by the end of the summit. I'm going to give it away here for free. So Gilad, do you have a hard stop? All right. Gilad's going to join us here for the giveaway. So
11 p.m. here in Israel. The bed is my next stop, basically.
Oh, gotcha. So thank you for staying up late for us. Cool. All right. So just type in VIP into the chat to be entered to win a free VIP upgrade. Just type in VIP into the chat. And just know, I've been doing these things. This is the 20th summit I've done. I've done many, many live streams, even not in summits. And I can tell you, most people don't enter into the entries. They just watch and be like, oh, that'd be fun. I never win anything. Well, you don't win if you don't try. So if you'd like to be entered to win, just type in VIP into the chat. You get a free VIP upgrade, which includes lifetime access, a couple of mag school courses, a $50 credit from PickFu, lots of goodies. So if that sounds of interest to you, just type in VIP into the chat. I'm going to pick a winner here in just a moment. So this is going to be going once, going twice. Gilad, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have entered to win. Give me a number between 1 and 5.
5.
5. Okay. 1, 2. I'm just going down the list. So if this is in a different order than YouTube, I apologize. This is what it is in StreamYard. 2, 3, 4, 5. So, Camming Lai, you are the winner. So just email Kevin at maximizingecommerce.com. Let me know that you won the free VIP upgrade, and I will get you a free VIP upgrade to the Convert More Clicks Summit. And Ben, you just missed it. So I don't know if you're on a whatchamacallit, a delay. But we will do another giveaway. So
if he said pick a number from 1 to 6, I would have picked 6. You know?
Oh, you would? Okay, gotcha. So that's the trick there. So it is my pleasure. So all right. So if you would like to be entered to win, let's do this. I think it was like, I don't remember if it was 2022. I remember you sponsored at least one event back then. So I don't know which one was the first. Let's just give away all the summits from 2022, all the summits from 2023, all from 2024. So that's at least 4 per, yeah, it's 4 per year times 3 years. So that's 12 summits, about $197 piece. So let's call it $200. So that's $2,400 in value, just because of how long Gilad has been sponsoring our summits. All you have to do is type in VAA into the chat. Just type VAA into the chat to be entered to win. Not everybody who enters wins, but as Michael Jordan or Wayne Gretzky, one of them says, I've heard it accredited to both of them, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you don't type in VAA, you will not win this. If you do, you have a chance of winning $2,400 worth of sessions. That's probably, so it's 12 summits, give or take about 20 sessions per summit, some more. But let's just call that 240 sessions. That would be, oh gosh, that's a lot. That's a lot of action-packed, just about any topic. Stuff is still evergreen. Lots of good stuff there. So all you got to do is type in VAA into the chat to be entered to win. So I'm going to bring up the wheel of names. And I've been trying to get the little distracting video to go away, but every time I click skip ad, another video comes up. So I have no control over what comes up. It seems to like to show me cleaning stuff and Disney and Universal. So, or cruises too. So I must think that that's what I like. And if it shows me weird stuff, then I apologize. So anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and start typing them into the chat here. So we've got Juan David Valencia. So that's Juan David V. We have Brian Lee. Now, what's interesting is my son, both of my kids actually. Oh, there's another Universal ad there in the background. My son was telling me that they use this at school. So I thought I learned something cool that like the kids didn't know about, but they did. The wheel of names, that is. All right, so then we have Alejandro Ramirez. We have Ben Ludwig. Glad you got in there in time, Ben. I felt bad. We just missed it in the last one, but you're in on this one. We got Drip Fit, who might already have everything we have. Drip Fit comes to like everything. We have SC, who I think also comes to just about every one we put on. And then we have Juan David Valencia, but we already got you, Juan David Valencia. So you're up here at the top. So, all right. So this is going to be last call. So if you're watching and you're like, should I enter to win? Just do it. Just like Nike says, just do it. Just type in VAA into the chat. This is going to be last call. So we'll enjoy another ad for Universal Studios here on the side. Oh, 2 days free for Florida residents or something like that. So anyway, going once, going twice. Ignore that ad. And they really want us to watch these ads. All right, so we're going to go ahead and spin to win. Here we go. My hands are up in the air. Oh, Juan David Valencia. And just for the record, I only put Juan David in there once. So Juan David Valencia, you are the winner. Just email me, Kevin at maximizingecommerce.com. Let me know you won I promised everything from 2022, 2023, and 2024. All 12 summits. I'll just add to your portal. You'll be able to go in and access them. So just email me. Give me a few hours just because. But I will get to it later today. So with that, Juan David, thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Drip Fit says, congrats, Juan. So thank you for being spirited there. It is our absolute pleasure. And with that, also thank you to my esteemed guest here. Shared a lot of valuable tips on how you could, get more time back in your days and bring watching, and also get better results. So with that, thank you everybody else for joining. Thanks Alejandro Ramirez for congratulating Juan David, as is Brian Lee says, thanks all. So yes, thank you everybody for watching and making it to the end. All you guys are warriors. We will have more sessions available tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time and more sessions on Thursday. And who knows, maybe I'll even add a little extra time for those of you who didn't get the VIP ticket. But just keep an eye out in your email inbox. And also make sure that if you're interested in learning more about getting a VA, you head over to VAAphilippines.com. But you have to make sure, if you want to get the free 10 hours per VA you hire for free, just make sure to tell them you found out about this at the Convert More Clicks Summit. So with that, thank you, everybody. Have an awesome day.
Thank you very much. Bye.